Welcome to PPR podcast number 55. My name is Rudy. His name is Bert. In the corner of the screen is our QR code. Scan that, everybody, and it'll take you to this podcast in its entirety and every other podcast that we have done, all other 54. Would you like to introduce our special guest?
Do you want me to give these stats, or you just want me to introduce him?
Introduce him and then tell him what. Then you give the stats.
This is Chris Williams from Francis Parker. Let me get this right. Safety. You also the kicker.
Yep.
And running back, right?
Yep.
So you never come off the field.
Yes, sir.
And do you coach or does Cooper coach?
No.
So Cooper's still a coach here?
Cooper's still coaching.
All
Yeah.
right, I was just making sure.
All right. So you do a lot of things, and the reason why you're in this podcast is because last Friday, this will air by Friday, right? All right. So last Friday, you set a CIF record. Do you have those numbers handy, Bert?
I do, if you can believe them.
Okay.
All right, correct me if I'm wrong here, all right? Because they sound
chime in.
unbelievable.
Don't be shy. This is your podcast.
Yeah, I got you.
All right, here we go. 12 rushes for 259 yards. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
6 touchdowns. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
2 interceptions, 1 a pick six. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
436 all-purpose yards. That's correct?
Yes, sir.
7 on 7 for PATs.
Yep.
1 for 1 on field goals.
Yep.
52 points scored.
Yes, sir.
That's like some kids. That's a season for some people.
Season? That's a career.
436.
Jeez, a season? Most people don't even score that in their career. Chris, so that makes you the CIF section record, single game scoring record holder. How does that feel?
It's crazy. I had no idea what it was going into the game. I mean, I kind of just on the sideline, my coaches just kind of put me on the headset. It was like, oh, by the way, you're kind of in position to break a couple records. And I was like, what?
So that's pretty good rushing yards and 436 all-purpose yards for a kicker. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So every other time you touched the ball, you were scoring, basically. If you added
It felt like it.
Jeez.
It felt like it.
So who are you playing?
We're playing Polytechnic High from Pasadena.
So they're from the bigger city.
Yeah, well, everybody's bigger.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously, what was the final score of the game? Was it a complete mismatch?
In the second half, yeah, it was 28-21 going into the half, and then we just we got our stuff together the second half, because first half we were all like riding the energy, riding the vibes, so we were a little over aggressive. I think for the first time in Parker history, maybe we've been playing bully ball. It's kind of funny looking at the film, but once we got to the second half, we cleaned up our discipline, and I think we shut them out until like garbage time touchdown against our twos.
All right, can I ask a question? Because
of course you can. You're the boss.
What's bully ball?
Beating people up.
Yeah.
For Francis Park, because you're more of a finesse, smaller school, right?
Yeah, we have got like a 32-player roster, I believe, and bully ball. Just basically, Nico Catula himself had like 5 pancake blocks. Diesel Hernandez had 4 himself. I think we ended like 15 almost. So
the kids from Pasadena aren't going to forget the Lancers anytime soon.
No, sir.
Who do you guys have this week coming up?
We play the Meadow School from Las Vegas.
Are you planning on bully balling them or no? Or you think they'll know who you
Very
are?
much so.
You think they'll know who you are in this game or no?
Maybe.
Watch out for that kicker. He can play.
Yeah, that kicker.
Yeah, that kicker's good.
All right. We're going to get back to football soon enough. But for those who don't know, and I think most would agree, the best education, high school education available, Francis Parker would come up in that conversation. If not, lead the way. It's
probably is the conversation.
One of the most expensive educations, that goes without saying.
Yeah.
But it is an elite. I mean, the pipeline your school has into like Ivy League schools is renowned. Everyone knows about it. So is there more athletic pressure on you from your family, or is there more academic pressure on you?
So I definitely say academic. I mean, coming from the small South Bay, like Sweetwater Union High School, school district, like middle school and stuff, there's a lot of academic pressure coming in. It's a completely different game, like homework assignments, the rigor, but also the academic support that's in place. Like, aside from my mom, I've never felt like as supported, like academically, until I got here.
Well, tell us about that. I mean, what does that mean? Tutors, after school?
So, yeah. So the way they have everything set up is we've got like a specific age block that no sports are allowed to like go through at the end of school, which is that's office hours for pretty much everyone. And there's blocks that's called the ARC, the Academic Resource Center, where kids usually go in, and if they need extra tutoring, they go ahead and go in, get that tutoring from other students and like specialist teachers.
You're from IB, right? Imperial Beach?
Yeah. Yeah.
So where did you play youth at?
I didn't play youth. I didn't play football until my freshman year.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. I played I think like a year and a half of flag football at the Boys and Girls Club down there. And then I picked up football when I got to high school.
So you could have went to Mar
football.
Vista and been balling at the beach with Mar Vista with the Mariners?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. They got a good quarterback there. He'd been good.
But
Yeah.
Bert, I'm just curious, how many of these academic opportunities would you have been able to take advantage of in your?
I can't even say
You would
the
not
support
survive
ARC. I don't remember that already.
You would not survive a week at Francis Parker.
No, absolutely not. But I don't kid myself. I know that. Would you?
No, I am not disciplined enough, and that kind of. Well, maybe the criticism I am mistaken. You only have a choice to be undisciplined because the discipline is provided for you. It seems like.
Yeah, it almost does feel like that. Like, it's like the teachers necessarily won't let you fail. They're so supportive, and like I get emails. Everybody gets emails all the time. Like, oh, you missed this one grade. Here, let's come in. Let's get these test corrections. Let's get these covered so that we can say you get a bad grade. I'm not gonna say I've never gotten a bad grade. And so they'll come in. You get to do your test corrections, and sometimes they'll let you retake, get that grade up to a 70, and then you'll get extra tutoring for like the unit test later on.
Wow.
So I saw with you have. I'm sorry, Paul.
No, go ahead.
Do you do? Because I thought somebody said you do. Are you part of Dream Chasers, Jason Carter's?
Yes, sir.
So how'd that come about?
Yes, sir.
Because you're down south. That's kind of McCoskey territory. I'm just curious how you got Dream Chasers.
So I went to middle school with Chris Fewell from Lincoln, and he hit me up during COVID. He was like, hey, come join the best 7-on-7 team in San Diego. So I was like, all right, I'll come out. And so I came out with their younger team, the Swarm Boys team. It was the 9th and 10th grade team, and kind of did my thing, kind of showed out. And after a few tournaments, I got a practice invite from Coach Carter. I came up with Sam Cooper to the Dream Chasers practice, and after that, I got an invite to their Texas tournament. So that's just kind of how that happened.
Mm-hmm. What were you gonna ask? You gonna ask
No,
Mark?
no, I was following up.
Oh, okay.
So was there pressure to go play at Lincoln for you?
Yeah, I almost transferred back in. Actually, I almost transferred after my sophomore year. My sophomore year, I sat out for football. I didn't play during the COVID season. I elected to play soccer and baseball instead, so that I could I didn't know what the transfer rules were for the following year because it wasn't necessarily going to be COVID after that. I didn't think, but at the end of the day, my baseball coach kind of snagged me and was like, "All right, stay here." And I was like, okay. I mean, you're the one that kind of. I didn't know about Francis Parker until my baseball coach came around, so I was like, all right.
So that's an interesting question because you play soccer. I know you play baseball, and obviously you play football. What? And I know you have a few football offers. What's going forward? What sports are going to be?
So this year it's only going to be baseball and football.
Mm-hmm.
So
Sounds to me like you're a
soccer-
baseball player. Your first love is baseball.
That was the second sport that I grew up playing. So yeah, I mean, I love baseball, but it's something different about football. Football is just a different love of the game. It's a lot more fun for me. It's just a little bit more natural, personally.
Yeah, here's the problem though. In football, then when you go up to college, people start bully balling you sometimes, and then it's not good to be in there letting bully ball. You know that.
Nope.
Baseball, you can just sit out there like Juan Soto, get a bunch of money,
Yeah.
toss the ball in, wear some City Connect
Yeah, but don't
jerseys.
kid yourself. That's pretty cutthroat too. That's I mean,
It is, but
Yeah,
you feel better in the morning.
yeah.
I can tell you that.
Well, yeah, your longer career opportunities. All right. So you said he has offers. Where are the offers?
I know you have Army. Don't you have Hawaii? You have a couple, right?
Yep. Army, Hawaii, and Utah Tech. So.
And that's going to change after they see game tape from last Friday. There'll be that Army.
Hopefully.
The Army offer. That is an offer that, one, is prestigious, and at the same time, it's a more serious, more rigorous commitment. I mean,
and then there's Hawaii.
Most of the kids that go play elsewhere couldn't survive a month at one of the academies. They just, they couldn't handle the academics, they couldn't handle the discipline, they couldn't handle the life and the commitment after it. Can you?
I think I can. I went on a visit over the summer, and I don't know if you guys remember Delshawn Traylor from Helix.
Sure. He's there, right?
Yeah, he's out there. And I kind of, talking to him, he said the academic, like the dynamic out there is it's similar to Francis Parker. Their teachers, it's super hard and everything, but they have so many support systems in place that if you're going to flunk out, you have to literally try. So,
like mayonnaise, officer and gentleman. That wasn't even academy.
that wasn't
officer and gentleman.
Yeah, but that wasn't Army. It was
Navy. It wasn't even the academy, but still, he flunked out. So I want to ask you brought up Sam Cooper earlier. Are you friends with Sam?
Not as much as we used to be.
Because I know Army's on his list too. I was wondering if you were kind of talking about that.
Yeah, I haven't really talked to him that much as of late. We just kind of been doing our own thing, focusing on our own teams.
The Army commitment comes, though, it doesn't end when you're done with school, though. There's a commitment afterwards. Let's talk about that.
So it's a 5-year commitment, like service requirement. But talking to Coach Saturnio, the recruiting coach for this area, kind of said that they, God willing, say I do end up with the chance to play at that next level. He said there are ways that you can go ahead and do that and still fulfill your service requirement.
Man, they always tell you that till you get there.
Well, they make exceptions. Well,
you better watch Officer and Gentleman, see what they did to mayonnaise. I'm telling you.
He doesn't even know what that movie is.
I know. I got to get my references up to date. All mine are terrible. All my stuff's from the 80s. I don't know why.
That's like late 70s, or is that 80s?
It's like 80s.
Anyhow, but just following up on that, because that commitment, the reason why I would consider it strongly if I'm you, Chris, is like your Francis Parker degree, graduating from a military academy, the networking that goes on with that and the career opportunities post-Army will be numerous. You'll be able to write your own ticket. I mean, if you're playing the long game, that Army scholarship is invaluable, is it not?
Yeah, very much so. I mean, there's a reason of my 3 right now. Army is kind of like where I'm kind of leaning, to be honest. I really like them. It's just, kind of feels rushed to make a little bit of a decision right now.
My dad went to the Army-Navy game shortly before his death years back, and he said one thing about the Army guys, they march better. They marched into the stadium. The Navy guys are all over the place.
Yeah.
The Army guys, very much good marchers.
Have you?
Yeah.
Now I know this is a dumb question, but all my questions are dumb. You grew up in IB, all right, San Diego. Have you been back to West Point in the wintertime yet?
No, I have not.
Have you seen pictures?
I believe I've seen pictures of my grandfather actually was born and grew up about 30 minutes away from there, so he kind of tells me about it.
It's a little different, yeah. It's a little different.
Yeah. That's all right. I'm originally from Kansas City. I lived out there for like first 5 years of my life. So
oh, you're ready, yeah.
at least a little bit of cold.
Yeah, you weren't all bundled up or anything when you were 3 or 4. You wouldn't.
All right, so let's talk about head coach. Let's talk about Coop. The fact that he's played the game at the highest level, does that give him more credibility than, say, if Bert and I walked it? Well, I guess.
Thanks.
I forgot you played the game.
Honestly.
All right, all right, let me rephrase the question.
Okay.
It would make it, having guys like Bert and Coop who have played the game at the highest level, do they have more credibility with you as an athlete than some guy like me that walked in and blew a whistle?
Honestly, I'd be lying if it's like not like a little bit. But for me, the credibility comes more so from like the productivity of like what you're coaching, based off like how your players take what you're coaching and how they perform. Like you could play the next level and not really knowing how to like coach what you were doing, and then it's like, all right, cool, you played at the next level, but what are you trying to teach me? So Coach Coop is a defensive guru. He's a he's brilliant. And working with the DB, even though he's a linebacker, he'll come work with the DBs. And I've seen what he's doing with the linebackers. Like, Parker defense has transformed. So.
And you're right, Cooper's. I mean, if you talk to him, he is brilliant, and he's the kind he would be Francis Parker at West Point, and then there's us.
And just correct me if I'm wrong, but he could suit up and play a game and still be effective. He could go out there and have 25 tackles for you guys Friday night, could he not?
Minimum.
Yeah, I mean, you guys, there's not an ounce of fat on him. He's just.
Why do you always look at me like?
Well, because I mean, you
the before and after picture, me and Coop.
You have the furniture problem. Your drawers have fallen into your.
I'm the before picture. Coop's the after. Don't worry about it.
No, but I mean, he looks like he could. I mean, he looks like he could still play an NFL game.
He actually looks better now than when he was in the NFL.
Yeah. So what's the piece of advice that you've gotten from him, or if Coop, if you want, but any coach, what's the piece of advice that resonates in your head still?
Well, for my dad, kind of between my dad and my coaches, is like, make this experience mine and use the sport and don't let the sport use you.
So. There you go.
All right, so explain that.
All right, so you want to? Let him explain.
Okay.
Okay, so the use the sport and don't let the sport use you. It's more so like, don't just live in the moment and just kind of follow the vibes. If you want to pursue something, pursue it. I'm trying to make it to the next level. I'd rather use my sport to get me to the next level where I can be put in a good position to have stable life as an adult and to be able to help my parents retire early, as opposed to just kind of playing the sport and like, oh, I wonder where this is going, and have no control over what's happening. And next thing I know, I've missed my opportunities.
There you go.
You're a very serious young man, Chris. Very serious.
I try to be.
He's a kicker. What do you expect?
No, he's
7 for 7 on pace and 1 for 1 on pace. He's a kicker. All kickers are like that.
That comes from your soccer skill, right? I mean, that's.
Yeah, that's soccer.
I got a question for you. So I know you're the kicker. We obviously know you're the kicker now. So after you have 440 yards, all-purpose yards, or you're killing this team, when you come out to kick, do they all think you're just out there because it's going to be a fake field goal and you're going to run it again? Or do they actually think you're going to kick?
I have no idea. I just I look at the defense, and based last game, I think a lot of them was like, I really hope he doesn't fake this. I'm tired of running.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost like you get out there and it's like, all right, here, we're going to kick a field goal, and Bo Jackson comes out. It's like, they're not kicking. Come on.
Hey, Chris, give us an idea what your class load will be like come September when you eventually go to school.
Yeah. I'm taking, I believe, 2 AP courses. I'm taking AP Gov, I'm taking English 12 honors. I'm doubling up on history, so I'm doing social justice as well and marine bio. And then I think that's just about it. Oh yeah, I'm taking AP Calc as well.
I took pre-algebra and Spanish 1. What about you?
I flunked Spanish twice in high school.
Did you?
Yeah.
Spanish isn't easy.
We're idiots.
No,
We're idiots.
I swear it's kind of embarrassing to talk to you, Chris.
It is.
But you got to remember, Chris, this is what I tell people that are smart like you. Without students like Bert and I, your achievements aren't as special.
True.
I mean, you need us
keep
to
the bar level.
Yeah,
Keep the
you
bar
need us
level.
to play off of. All right, so young people that are watching this right now, what do you say? You pass on some advice to some youngsters.
Same as what I was saying earlier. Just take your opportunities by the reins. Do what you love. Kind of don't not let people tell you what to do, but like what's the saying from the Bible? Seek wise counsel.
You know, I almost laughed out loud when you looked at Bert and said, "What is that?"
The verse I was going to give it to him, I'd do unto others as you would have done unto yourself.
I'm not going to lie. I looked above my computer at my brother sitting on the couch.
All right, so that's good. I mean, I want to keep talking to him.
I do. I have one more question, though. So you said you didn't play youth at all. Was there? So there could have been a possibility that you went on and we wouldn't be having this conversation. You would have never done any of this, and with 10 games left, God knows what you're going to do. You might not have played football then, right? I mean, there's a possibility of that.
No, there's no possibility. I've wanted to play football since I was real little. My dad used to play. He ended up being an All-American in college. He lost his opportunities because he's he had a partial tear his senior year of high school of his ACL, and then he completely tore it his sophomore year. So kind of going up around my dad and I was watching football, breaking down NFL film. I always wanted to play, but it's embarrassing to say. My mom didn't want me to play because I think it was kindergarten. I was playing two-hand touch football at recess, and I broke my arm.
Oh.
I don't know how it happens, but,
Kickers.
stuff happens.
Kickers. Every time a kicker tries to play with the other players, that's what happens.
Moms can be an obstacle. That's a big deal. Plus, mom does not want to see her baby in a cast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, nah. But my dad, so in response to that, my dad went with the strategy of start me in soccer and baseball. Baseball to develop my hand-eye coordination and reaction time, and then soccer for my footwork and speed and agility.
Good plan.
Tell us about your family a little bit. What does your dad do?
My dad's a benefits manager for SDPVA, and my mom is the college career pathway coordinator at Lincoln High School.
Oh, there's the link.
So there's so your parents obviously, because you're at Francis Parker, value put an emphasis on education, obviously, right?
Yeah. Yeah, my mom's always been the one putting an emphasis on education.
You're pretty. I don't know. He's such a great conversation. You're at like 20 minutes, 25 minutes already, just so you know.
Yeah. Can we?
That's common. Every other kid 15, he's like, we're done.
Long. I don't got practice still too, so I'm going to talk however long y'all want.
Yeah, he doesn't have to go to school for 4 weeks. I mean, Chris, do you follow the scene pretty closely? Because Bert always asks the question, if you had to pick the Silver Pigskin Player of the Year, are you familiar with the PPR?
Yeah, I watch it every year.
Okay, so then we do a thing at the end of the year where we have our Heisman Trophy deal, basically, but it's a bigger trophy. Yeah. It's the prestigious Silver Pigskin, much more
bigger
important.
than Heisman.
Yeah, way bigger. Way bigger.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we agree on that. So if you had to join our Player of the Year committee and pick 5 finalists that cannot be you cannot be one of them. Could you come up with 5 names?
I don't know about 5 names. I could probably come up with a couple. I mean, of course we got to have Rod on there.
Yeah.
Major Givens.
Thank you.
Who else? God. I easily have to say one of the modern day boys. Those dudes are crazy. One of them got to be on there.
Well, the problem with that is which one? Yeah,
I know. They're all pretty hella good. Like,
I'm starting to come around to your way of thinking. I mean, as good as Trey is and as good as Jerry is, that Dom Nankiel, I mean, that guy was on running for his life and still making plays.
Yeah, he was running for his life. That was kind of the...
I don't know if we televised a Cathedral game, and that kid, he'd get the ball, and the pass rush was on him, and he would just find a way to buy enough time.
Yeah, he was running for his life from the get-go.
You know who I'd also throw on that list?
Who?
Zach Marshall. I throw Zach Marshall up there. That dude, I love that guy.
He got a 4-game sit-out, though. We got to wait and see with him.
Yeah, because he has
4 games.
Because he transferred to...
I mean, we played him last year, and I was like, how do you guard this dude? Like, this dude's huge, and he's fast.
And he's got Julian Sayin throwing to him this year. That's
and to me, Sayin right
he's
now...
got Julian Sayin, too.
Sayin, I put Sayin in that conversation at least until he does... Jax was going to be on that list, and then now he's hurt, so probably won't be Jax. But I think those 4 names certainly are a consideration. Who would be the 5th? Rod is unanimous.
Yeah, Rod is Rod.
Yeah. Well, he's a man among boys. I'll be fascinated, Chris, to see when they play in Week 4. I want to see Trey and Roderick on a dive play.
Just meet in the hole.
Yeah, meet in the hole. Because who's going to win? Which way is that pile going to move?
Well, I don't know. Trey coming off the injury.
So I say Rod. I say Rod. I'm just saying that's my team. That's my 7-on-7 teammate. So
Trey's got the ankle. I'm hoping he's back by then.
Yeah, maybe that. If they've been thinking about Week 4, they wouldn't have put him back in Week 1.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Chris, we certainly appreciate you making time. Congratulations on the record. I know it doesn't seem like a big deal now because you're young and you got 1,000 things going on. But when you're my age and his age, you're going to be looking at that record book.
Can you tell him, since he broke a record, can you tell him about that one play where they kept coming your way?
Let me tell you.
All right, your story, just imagine you're our age. This man's got to tell this story his whole life. Imagine the story you get to tell. Go.
Yeah. All right.
Set the bar.
It was a cold day in November, Chris. Madison Edgewood. I was a Crusader playing for Madison Edgewood. We were on the road against Marshfield Columbus on a dreary, it must have been 20 degrees outside. Packed stadium. Wow. Packed stadium because we were the team from Madison coming to the small village. But they were a good team. And they had this little kid, number 29. Can't remember, but he was just lightning fast. He was 2 steps faster than me. And they kept running the toss play to my side of the field. Wherever I lined up, they would run the toss play. And the kid would beat me to the sideline every time. I was getting he had almost 200 yards by half. So in the third quarter, as they were driving down the field, I had tears in my eyes as my teammates were turning on. My mother was heckling me from the stands. I did not even watch the snap of the ball. I just anticipated and went to where I thought he was going to get the snap. I have never hit anybody as that hard in my life again. I could hear the, you ever remember that sound of?
Wow.
I looked down on the ground. The ball spurted out. Our guys picked it up, took it the other way, and I looked down at him, and he had snot. It was an actual snot bubbler. It was an 18 seconds worth of play, Chris. I am now going to be 62 soon. I think about that play every day of my life. That's why high school football is so special. You will think about this game, no matter, you could become the President of the United States, Chris. You will think about this game every day of your life.
Now can I ask Chris one more question?
Sure.
You play football, you watch film. What's it mean when the offense runs at the same defensive player every single play? What does that mean?
But the point of the story is I prevailed in the end.
No, it doesn't. Great play.
He was out of the game.
Yeah, he was out of the game.
I knocked him out of the game.
That made it 62-6.
Yeah, he finished with 210 yards. I stopped him at 210.
Nice. I didn't know that. All right.
So, Chris, let that be.
210 yards to 1.
Yeah.
I call that a win.
Chris Williams, turn off your machine. I was trying to inspire you, young man. Don't be side with him all the time.
I love that story.
All
I
right.
can hear it every time.
This podcast is now over. Turn off your machines, Chris. Oh, by the way, we will post it. If not today, tomorrow. Can you email me your Twitter and Instagram so I'll make sure to tag you on everything I put up?
Yes, sir.
And all the best to you. You've been a delight to speak with.
Thank you.
Turn off the machines.
Thank you, Chris.